So hello everyone, welcome to this another video of Scale Up India. I'm Abhishek Verma and you are watching the Hibernate series. So in the last video we discussed about one-to-one mapping, and as you can see here the video was around 1 hour and 8 minutes. Now in that much big video I missed one concept, and basically I didn't miss the concept but I wanted to make a separate video on that, and that is regarding the bidirectional one-to-one mapping here. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about the bidirectional one-to-one mapping here. But before that, it is very important that you must have watched this video, because today's video is going to be the advanced part of the previous video. So already whatever we have covered in the previous one, I'm not going to cover the same again. And only the extra part for making the same to a bidirectional one-to-one mapping, I will be covering only that part of the code here. So without wasting any time, let's directly get started with the code here. So here if I go, so yeah, this is the one. So here we are, and this is going to be our demo number 9 today. So what I have done is that I have basically copied the previous demo itself, so that whenever you will download the things from my GitHub repository, and in case if you don't know the link of my GitHub repository, then it's right there only. So here in the description of my video, if you will go, you will get the link for the GitHub repository, and here each and everything is available for free of cost. So you can like simply go here and you can see all the demos are available. So each and everything is available in line wise. So now let's come back here. So here we are. So as I mentioned, I have just copy pasted it. So let me just go here, and what we will do is that instead of directly starting with the code, let me just give you a refresh of the previous one. So I won't explain the code as such, I will be just running the code and explain you basically two important parts for this. So let me just start it here, and as you can see we have started it. So yeah, here we are. So as you can see, it says press 2 for fetching the owner details and press 5 to fetch the pet details. So we will just perform these two operations only. Yeah. So let me just press 2 here once. So there it goes 2, and again let ID be 10 here this time. So let's go for this ID here 10. So here when I do something like this, let me just again increase this. So you can see that for this owner detail, ID is 10, first name is Ever, and then the gender is F, then these are the details, she is from Chhattisgarh, and then these are the details. So here we have the pet details also. So pet ID is again 10, the name is Oscar, and it's a male fish. Okay, that's great. Now let's do the next thing here. So again I'll say Y, and this time I'll say 5 here, something like this, and again let's say 10 here. So I'm just saying 10. Now this time you see that when I say 10, so I'm just getting the pet details only, and the pet details are again same, the ID is 10, the name is Oscar, and something like this. So these are the details here. Now here the question comes is that let's say that by passing the pet ID only, you want to get the owner details also, then what will you do? So in order to perform that particular scenario, what do we need to have is the bidirectional one-to-one mapping. So currently our code can move from the owner to the pet only. From the pet, it has no idea how to move towards the owner. So today we are going to enhance our code such that if we are just going to provide the pet ID only, then also it can show us the owner details, and here this output we are going to update. So you have already seen these outputs here, and let me just stop this, and yeah, there it goes, something like this. And again one important thing is that it's, as I mentioned earlier also, it's not mentioned that you always go for a bidirectional one-to-one mapping. It will completely depend upon your business requirement, and hence I'm making a separate video on this. If you don't want to have a bidirectional mapping, then you can simply skip this video and you can directly watch the next video. So let's go here. So for this what we will do is, first of all we'll go to our entity, and here we'll go to the pet. So our owner entity is already ready with us. So like here we are not going to perform any of the changes. It is going to be same as it is. What we are going to do is that whenever we will be fetching a pet from the database, at that time we want to see the owner details. So here let me just do something, and it's like obviously I need the owner details at that point of time only. So here I will be providing the owner like this here, owner. So this gives me owner here. Yeah, the same thing. Now the thing is, only mentioning the owner here is not sufficient. What extra we need to do is that here also we need to give the same one-to-one mapping. So earlier we used this annotation, that is this particular one-to-one on the owner side, which is basically your owning side. Yeah, so here we say that this is the owning side and your pet is the target side. But now on our target side also we are going to provide this annotation here. So this we have given. Now let's see which all arguments do we need here. So again I'll go here. Now do we need all those as arguments which we mentioned here? The answer is no. We don't need all these arguments, because whenever you are making such a kind of mapping, you always need to decide which is going to be your owning side and which is going to be your target side, even if it is a bidirectional mapping. Yeah. So then also there should be only one owning side and one target side. So our owning side will always remain owner only, but our target side is pet. So in the pet, we need to somehow tell that you are the target for the particular owner. So for this, what we will do is that here I will be picking this particular one argument that is mapped out, and see what it says. It says the field that owns the relationship. This element is only specified in the inverse, that is the non-owning side of the association. Only in the inverse side, that is the pet side. So let me just copy this. So yeah, I have copied it, and let me provide it here, something like this. So this is the one. And what do we need to provide here? That how we are mapping it with the owner. So we are mapping it with the owner with the help of this particular pet. So in the owner class, we are already having this pet. Hence we are able to map this. So this pet I will copy from here, and I will be just providing it here as a string. Something like this I will be doing here, and let me just save it. So you may feel that, okay, why I'm saying like pet. So this is not anything like a column name. Yeah, so that is something important to be learnt here, that this is not a column name as such. But why I'm saying pet? Because in the owner, I'm connecting the owner with the pet with the help of this particular pet variable, and hence I'm using the same variable name here. Now you will say that, okay, then what are the changes it is going to make in your table structure? The answer is it is not going to make any of the changes. And hence in the today's video, we are not going to, clean our database and then restart everything. We are just going to reuse as it is everything, because there is not going to be any single change, like neither in the table and nor anything else. Yeah. So only in the terms of our code, the things are going to be changed, not in the terms of database. So here we have already mentioned one-to-one mapping, and only this one is required. No other arguments are required here. Yeah. Now the next part is that obviously if you want to see also that how it looks like, so what we'll do is we are going to set these getter setters and the toString methods also. So let's enhance these methods, and for this I'll just go here and I'll say source generate getters and setters. For the owner I will be doing this, and I'll say generate here. So I'm getting two new methods here, so this is good. And now I'll just go here. So what I'll do is I'll just say something like source, and here it says generate toString, and I'll say yes. So I'll just say generate, and now it is going to provide me a pet, and in the toString method I have already updated it with the owner. So this is I have done here, the owner part. So something like this I have done, and this again looks good. Now is it the only change needed? Literally speaking, this is the only change. So if you are not following a structure of making your DTO classes, then believe me, this is the only thing which needs to be done, and nothing else needs to be done here. Yeah. So for this, what we will do is that before making any other change, we'll go to our service class, and here we'll do something interesting. So the moment you are able to find the owner, and after this, so obviously if it is null, it will throw the exception. So here let's print the owner sys out, and here let me just print my owner. So here this is your owner, like this is how it is going to look like, the owner part. Yeah. And same thing what I'll do is that I will be copying this. I'll go to my pet service sample, and here I'm going to paste my pet here. So something like this I will be doing, and this I'm doing before any kind of conversion. So in the conversion we may or we may not get error, so that we will see later on. As of now I'm just making a change here. So let me just restart the code. So I'll again click here and it looks fine. So yeah, here I am. So again let me go for this 5 first and let me say here 10. So okay, I'm getting some kind of error and that is a big error. So you see this was such a big error. We'll come to this, that why did we got this kind of error and what are the various issues, so that we are going to check later on. But let's see what it did. So this time when we are entering the pet ID, so it is going to make this kind of select query, and here if you see, so this time it is not a simple select query. This is also basically a joining query. So here it is performing a left join on the basis of this pet ID. And why it is performing this left join? So that it can show you the owner details also. Now let's try to understand what happened here. So after this, when you moved your code to this particular line, it was trying to print your pet here. Now when it was trying to print your pet here, so it went here obviously. Now when it was trying to print, it saw there is the owner. So how it will print the owner? For this, it needs to call the toString method of the owner. So it went to the owner class, that was here. Now when it tried to print the toString method of owner, so then it saw the pet is here. So when it saw the pet, it said okay, let me call the toString method of the owner. So again it went here, and then you can see there was a cycle. So here we are actually making a cycle here, a basic loop here. Owner is calling pet, pet is calling owner, and that is the issue. So most of the time this is one of the common mistake which we are doing, and that is also a reason that we should not directly go for this pet and owner as it is. We should always have these kind of DTO classes, so that whenever we are taking the input from the user, whenever we are showing the output to the user, we can make usage of these DTOs, and depending on our requirement we can decide which particular variable we need to set, which particular variable we don't need to set. So this is something which we need to do here. And directly if you will try to print the owner or something like a pet, so you will be obviously getting this kind of error. The reason I have already mentioned here. So let me just clear this, and what we will do is that here we are going to first of all remove these sysouts here, otherwise it will keep on giving us the error. So okay, I guess I have deleted one extra line also, and I just need to delete this particular line. So now this looks good to me. Let me go to pet service impl, and here also let me just remove this particular line. Yeah, now this looks good to me. Now after this, so one thing is very clear, that I can't directly print the things. Then what should be done? So let's try to understand here. So here I got a pet, and one thing is clear, that this time in the pet we are having the owner details also. So what we should be doing is that instead of printing the pet here directly, we won't get any advantage as such. So what we will do is, we'll go to this particular method, convert pet entity to DTO. So let's go to this particular method, and what I'll do is I'll just select it and I'll go here. So I'm going to this particular one. So here instead of printing the pet object, I will be printing the pet DTO object basically. That is after the conversion. Now here the issue which you will get is that if you will try to print the object after converting it to pet DTO, then you can see that in pet DTO we are not having any owner DTO details. So again we won't get any kind of advantage, because we wanted that whenever we provide the pet ID we get owner details also, but here the advantage is missing. So for this what we'll do is, we'll first go to the pet DTO, and here let's add something like this. So here we'll say owner, something like this, owner DTO, and here also we will say owner DTO. So like this we will be doing. And after this what we will do is that here we are going to have those getters and setters also. So let me just quickly go to source and say generate getters and setters, select all, and yeah, they have been generated by me. So this is again done by me. And as you know that we are not directly printing, we are taking the help of the toString method. So what I'll do is, I won't remove this completely, instead I'll copy this particular part first. I'll tell you the requirement later on. So let me just copy this particular part, and now let me update this here. So I'll again go to this source and I'll say toString, and let me say source. So I want everything, and yeah. So this time when I will be printing the pet detail, it will show me the owner detail also. And here there is one issue. Now whenever I will be printing the pet detail, it will show me the owner detail also. But if you remember, my owner detail is also having a pet detail. So again, I will be getting the same cycle. So you will say that actually you have just shifted your cycle from between pet and owner to the pet detail and owner detail. Agree? So yeah, I also agree that yes, I had done something like this. So for this, there is a solution here, and the solution is that I will be doing something like this. So I'll say if, and here within the if I will say that if this dot get owner something like this, so I'll say this owner here. So yeah, so I'll say if this dot get owner dto is null, that is equals to null. So if here this is going to be null for me, then I will be just printing this without the owner dto. So if it is null, so I will print it without the owner dto, and only if the owner dto is available, then I'll print that particular thing. So this is something I will be doing here like this, else particular part, and here I'll say something like this. Other changes also we will be doing, so I'll tell you in some time, but here this is the number one change, the owner detail. And here the better option is that if it is possible, I'll directly take something like this here, owner detail. Yeah, this looks good to me, but I always say you that okay, you should never try like this equals to null. It doesn't looks good. Yeah, so instead of it, let's make it more elegant, and for this what we will do is we'll say here objects dot is null. So I like this method better than any other method, so I'll just say here is null, and I'll say owner dto, something like this. So here I am updating the method, and yeah, this one looks good. So if the owner dto is null, then it will print without owner dto. If it is not null, then it will print with this. Something like this we will also do in the owner dto also, that if the pet dto is null, we won't print pet dto here, and if pet dto is not null, then only we are going to print this. So let me again quickly do this. So I'll just say here objects dot is null, something here, and I'll say here pet dto, and yeah, this again looks good. So what I'll do is I'll copy this particular part and I'll paste it here, and here I'll just say here something like this else here, and within the else I want to print it without the pet dto. So let me just remove all these things. I guess this much is going to be sufficient for me. So yeah, again this one looks good, and as I mentioned that now we should remove all these to do. So here also I have removed this to do, and yeah, here also I had already removed the to do. So now in the pet detail and here something this I have done, but is this sufficient? Let's see again. So we'll again go to this mapper util, and if you remember we were calling this particular method. Now in this one also we need to set, then only it is going to print, otherwise only toString method cannot do anything on its own. So for this what I'll do is that I'll say here pet dto dot set, and here I will say something like this owner dto. Yeah, this looks good to me. So I will be printing the owner dto here. Now for this owner dto, what I'll do is I need to get it from somewhere. So I will write here like this owner dto, and here I will say owner dto, and this owner dto. So what I'm having with me is that I'm having something like this owner nt2 dto. So let me copy this particular one and let me provide it here, something like this, and here I will be saying like owner dto instead of saying null. So I'll write like this, and here what I'll do is I will say pet dot get owner. So yeah, this will, I guess it is going to do my job. So do you find that there is an issue? Now I'm saying this, so when owner details are there, so again same way it is going to work for me. Now do you think there is any mistake here? Like, what do you feel? What can be the mistake? What can go wrong this time? So what I feel is that when I will be calling this method, it will internally call this particular method, and this is going to call this method, and there again it is going to call this method. So again there is a cycle. So again we need to break the cycle. So the question comes up again that we somehow needs to break the cycle here. So in order to break a cycle, what we will do is that here when we are converting the owner entity to DTO, we'll say that we will do this without pet. So here we will say that whenever we are converting, we are going to do this without pet. Now you will say, where is this particular method? So let me just create this method here. So here we have created this particular method, and yeah, this looks good to me that I have created this particular private method. Now what should be the body for this? So I'll copy the body from here of the top part. So I'll copy and I'll just paste it out here. So yeah, everything is here, and the only thing which I don't need this time is the pet details. So I won't be setting the pet detail. So this one looks good to me. So this time when I will be saying pet entity to DTO, so I will be calling this, and inside this I won't be converting the pet details. So I will be doing this without the pet. Same way, if required for this also you can do. Like here, whenever you are calling this owner entity to DTO, so what will happen? Internally you will call this, and internally this is again going to call your this particular owner. So for this one also, let us make it without something like this, without owner. So this we will be doing here, and let's create this. Yeah, so that is done. So you should start using all these shortcuts here. So what again I'll do is I'll copy this particular part and I'll paste it out here, and here I won't be converting it to the own editor. So like this we can do those settings very easily. So if the other thing is going to be null, obviously it is not going to be printed. Yeah, and again everything looks good here. So let me just go to this demo, let me just start the code, and let us see what it is going to work. So again it says 5, so let me press 5 here, let me say 10 here, and yeah, so you see it is working fine. So the select query is going to be a join query here. So as you can see that I'm getting a left join here between the pet and the owner table, and that is because of the common pet ID between them. Yeah, and here you can see that I'm having this particular pet DTO details. So here you see that owner DTO and everything looks good and something like this, and here it says the pet DTO is null. So this pet DTO is within the owner here, so within your owner DTO. So let's try to see if we can enhance this somehow. So what we will do is we'll go to this owner DTO. Now within the owner DTO, what we did here, so here we are saying that if this is null, then it should be printing. So I guess here we have made a mistake. So here instead of saying is null, so we should be saying not null. So do we have any method like that? Not null. Okay, so this is non-null, so we can utilize this. So again this will work fine for me. So if this is non-null, then only print the pet DTO, otherwise not. And let's see if we have done a same mistake here. So here I'm saying that if it is null, then only do this. So any of the ways are fine. So I'll leave it like this only. So in one I will be using is null, other one non-null. So this is your choice, whatever the one you want to use. So let me just print it again, as there was a mistake this time. So again if I go, so I'll go to this 5 and say this, and ID is 10, and yeah, everything is same. So initially it is pet DTO. So till now it is the pet details, then it starts with the owner details, and this time my methods are correct, so it is not showing anything related with the pet. Same way let's do with the other one. So let me just say here 2, and here ID let's say 10. So owner DTO, ID is 10, and everything looks fine to me. And then it shows your pet DTO also, and in the pet DTO there is nothing owner DTO. So that proves my coding was fine this time. Yeah, so something like this you can do. But again, why I was able to get all these benefits? Because I was following all the best practices, and the best practices says that you should not be directly throwing your entity class to the UI. So here let's consider this as our user interface as of now. So to your user interface, you should directly neither throw the entity class nor you should directly accept. Always there should be the DTO class so that you can manipulate your DTO classes as per your requirement. So somehow we have done the same thing here also. So we are able to move from owner to pet and the pet to owner. And for this, the only change, basic change, was in your pet class. And that change was something as simple as that, mapped by. Yeah. There was no other change. And there was no change in the terms of database. So these are still same. There is not even any particular change here. Yeah. And I hope that you like this video. So if you have liked, then you should be basically liking the video also by pressing that thumbs up icon. Otherwise, liking the video doesn't matters. Yeah, like if you will say that, okay, I like the video but I'm not going to press, so that is not going to work. You should be pressing the button also, and beside this you should be clicking on that particular subscribe button also, because as you can see, still we are having 741 subscribers only, and currently I'm releasing the videos every Friday. But believe me, if you can help me in order to increase this number, and our target is 1000 as of now, so if you can help me to reach to the target of 1000, then we are going to increase the frequency. Instead of every Friday, we are going to release 2 videos every week. But for that, this is the first break which we need to do, because currently our resistance is on 1000. So the first resistance we need to break so that I can increase the frequency. In case you say that you are not getting the notifications regularly, one option is that maybe you are not pressing the bell icon. Another option is that you say that, okay, still there is some issue, let's say with the YouTube. So what I have done is that in all the descriptions as well as here, I'm providing you the Telegram link. So this is the Telegram channel, same for this. So here also I keep on updating about this. The code you can easily download from my GitHub. So each and everything. And why I'm providing you is so that you can actually download and you can try out the things. The moment you are going to try out the things, you will tell me if there is any mistake, if there is any enhancement, and believe me, whatever the enhancement you are going to tell me, I will be adding them in my next videos. So I will be doing all those things, but only if you will try these things first. Yeah. So with this, let's end the video and let's meet you in the next video. We are going to discuss about the eager as well as the lazy loading. So thanks everyone.